Hi guys, Drew here. This is a video I've been meaning to do for some time, but you know, life happens. So here I am finally doing it. It's like the getting to know you tag, I guess. I don't think it really has an official name. If I'm not mistaken, it was started by Brittany from SkittleKat Spiritual. And I always want to say SkittleKat. You cannot say that name fast. I can't. It is a tongue twister. Good on you, Brittany. Anyway, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was started by her. I actually saw it first on March Moon's channel. I was going to leave a link for both of them, but I've noticed that March Moon's channel is gone. I don't know what's up with that, so I will definitely leave a link for SkittleKat Spiritual in the down bar if y'all want to check that out. There are 16 questions, and I will, of course, leave those in the description in case anybody wants to do the tag. Without further ado, let's go. So first is age. I just turned 40 in February. Location. I am located on the Crystal Coast of North Carolina. We live near Camp Lejeune Marine Corps Base, and it is on the most eastern, almost the most southern edge of North Carolina. Family. There's me, my husband, who is also a practicing witch, our eldest. She will be 20 on the 15th, and she has kind of come in and out of the craft, and she's in at the moment. Our middle child, he is 17, and our youngest, who is 15. Neither of the boys care about the craft. YouTube name explanation. I did this, I think, in my intro, but she who walks between the worlds. I had a very, very dear friend, a soul sister, and she was in her 70s when she passed, probably 5 years ago now, three or 5 years ago now. I'd have to sit and do the math. But when she was alive, she was one of those people that if I got on the phone with her, we'd be talking for 4 hours, and it would be all spiritual content. Very little mundane. And for us, even when it was mundane, there was a spiritual level to it. So she was a dear person in my life, and she gave me that name. How many years have you been a pagan? This question's weird. I think I've always been. I think I was born as I am. I think I have always been shaman. So I think I've always been a pagan. But when I realized I was pagan, I was in... I didn't put a label on it until I was in my 30s. But I think in my 20s... I think I was like 17 when I gave up on trying to figure out Christianity and just accepted that I was never going to fit into it. I really tried to understand it and get in there, and it just didn't work. So I, again, didn't label it, but probably always have been, probably been semi-conscious of it since I was a teenager, but been full on, oh, I'm a pagan. I was in my 30s. The next question is, what is my favorite part of my path? And I would have to say that that is freedom. I am free to decide where I go, when I go there, how I go there, what I believe, what I put to the side. I'm making this up as I go along. Now, yes, I consider myself to be on a shamanic path, and there are sort of, I wouldn't say rules, but there are sort of consistencies in that path. But I say that I'm on that path because of those consistencies manifested in my life naturally. I didn't go after them. I'm like putting together the pieces when looking at shamanism. Oh, this happened, that happened, all these little check marks. But I don't seek to be that. I just feel that I am. So my path is very fluid, and I just do what I want to do. And I think that is my favorite part of my path. Stone or crystal you connect with the most? Now, I've not shown you guys my stone collection because I don't want to look like I'm bragging. I did work in a stone shop. I used to go to gem and mineral shows, and I will again. I love crystals, all of them. I've never met a crystal I didn't like. Other than irradiated quartz, irradiated smoky quartz, I love all crystals. Having said that, moldavite is the only crystal that makes me feel like I'm getting hugged or I'm melting into a warm cup of cocoa or something. I don't know. It just has this really calming, homey, peaceful... I don't know how to describe it. It's moldavite. Favorite herb? That one is really hard. I can name like 100 herbs also that I love, and that one's way harder for me. I really like tonka bean. Love tonka bean. I love lemon balm. I love lavender and rosemary and Dini of Crete, and I just really could go on all day. Picking one is too hard for me. I love herb craft. Totem animal. I do have a totem animal. I met my totem animal long before, well, years before I awakened to my path and put 2 and 2 together later. I have a video about that already, a peek into my path. It's a crazy story. I'm not going to get into it here. It's long, but my totem is the golden eagle, and I call him Brother Eagle. New moon or full moon? I don't want to choose. I think any time's a good time for magic if it's required, if it's called for. I can make magic at any time. And I find the new moon to be very powerful. But if I had to choose, if I had to pin it down, I would say full moon, just because I only feel like there's certain things I want to do on a new moon. Whereas with a full moon, I'll do anything. Releasing, banishing, drawing, I'll do it all. So that's why I choose full moon. Top 2 witchy pagan books. So hard, so hard. Brittany is killing me. The Big Book of Stones is one of my all-time favorites. I have 2 copies of it, the original and the amended, and the original is falling apart. Again, I'm a stone freak, but I don't really consider that a witchy pagan book. So we have Scott Cunningham's Herbal Encyclopedia, which is a definite staple in my practice. Or at least it has been. I've moved kind of past it, but I still like to have it. Because maybe I'll start to work with herbs I haven't before. I kind of have a well-established group of herbs that I work with, and I've got that down. But yes, a definite. Grimoire for the Green Witch. I love, love, love this book. It's just all kinds of really good information in here. She's got all these, it's all marked up and written in, you know, all the planetary things, all the symbols, the runes, you know, she's got the witch's sigil wheel, and I mean, you can't see, but there's all kinds of really good information in here, and I absolutely love it. I love Anne Mora. She's a very intelligent woman, and she was raised in her practice, and she's very knowledgeable, and I just adore her work. And then I'm going to do another one, Spellcaster. 7 ways to effective magic. And there are so many, there's like 6, 7 authors. But if you're interested in looking at a book that teaches you all about spells, how to create them, everything you need to know about spells from 5, 6, maybe 7 different people's point of views, this is a great resource. I love this book. Okay, I'm done with books. I could have done a million more. My dog is barking in the background. I apologize. So, what is your heritage? This was kind of complicated. My family's kind of secretive in a way. There are certain things that just aren't really talked about. So, the easiest way to break it down is my mom's mom is of Nordic descent, and that's all I really know of that. And my mom's dad was adopted, but the research that was done, my mom called him French Canadian. And the way she explained it to me was kind of like with Creole or Anglo-Indian. Like in India, you had the native Indian people, and then the English came and kind of occupied and settled there, and some of them got together and had babies and created this sort of subculture called the Anglo-Indians, and they're their own thing. That's the way this was described to me. The French settlers went into Canada and got with some of the Native Americans there and created this sort of new culture, this new ethnic group. And you could look at if you were to look at my grandfather while he was alive and someone said to you, he's of Native descent, you'd be like, oh yeah, I can see that. You can't tell that by looking at me. But then on my dad's side, his father was Scottish, and then his mother was Native American, though there's some amount of white people in there. I don't know what that white people is. I don't know what the the Caucasian ethnicity is in that family. And I don't even know how much it is. I'm under the impression that her father was a full-blooded Native American and that her mother was half. The only thing I know for sure is that they were from the Flathead tribe and the Assiniboine tribe. It's not something that's really talked about in my family because my great-grandfather was treated really poorly by the white man. And so he wanted all of his children to pass for white. As a matter of fact, my great-grandmother wanted to name my grandmother Ladybug, but my great-grandfather wouldn't allow her to do that because her last name was already Beavers, and he felt like she had enough of a strike against her and wanted her to assimilate and to be part of the white culture in America. Element you resonate with most. This is also complicated. If you want to talk about magically, like when I do my magic, which ones I resonate with the most, it is absolutely going to be fire and water. They are my two elements that I am probably best with when it comes to working magic. But if you want to just talk about me and on my spiritual path and me within myself, it's earth and air. I resonate with those probably much more. So kind of all four in a weird way. Oracle, tarot, or both? Both. I'm very, very picky about my tarot. My brain gets too caught up in the actual meaning of the cards and my intuition gets totally knocked out when I work with tarot. So it takes a really particular kind of deck. Like Osho Zen is my favorite because I'm not as focused on the actual meaning of the card. With a traditional deck, I can't read. It doesn't work. My brain gets in the way and it totally messes me up. Even though I've been working with them for 20 years, it doesn't work. So I can work with tarot, but it has to be just right. It's got to be the right deck. And Oracle, I can work with pretty much any Oracle deck. Of course, I am more drawn to some than others, but I really enjoy working with Oracle decks, and I find them much easier to work with. Are you a closet witch or no? No. I mean, I don't run through the streets yelling I'm a witch, but no, I'm definitely all out in the open about it. I don't really care. Do you work with or connect with a specific deity? Not one specific deity. No. I have a connection with Great Spirit. That's, I don't know, Spirit moves through everything. Spirit is the nuts and bolts, the atoms, the molecules of everything, literally, for me. But I believe that I can work with aspects of spirit through angels, deities, fairies, what have you. So I have worked with many deity, many ascended masters, and what have you. I don't have one specific. I don't do patron and matron. For me, just an example. If I'm feeling I need compassion, either for myself or to give to others, if I'm really in a place where I need a mother, I'm going to call on Kuan Yin. Now for me, Kuan Yin is an aspect of Great Spirit. It is a personification of that which I need. If I need protection, if I feel like I need protection in the moment, I'm going to call Archangel Michael. Because for me, that is the personification of the aspect of protection from Great Spirit. I don't have to say, oh, Great Spirit, I need protection. And, this is whatever. I just say, Michael, I need you. And it's understood immediately that what I need is protection. Kuan Yin, it's understood immediately that what I need is compassion and love and mothering and that influence. So that's how I work with deity. But yeah, that's just me. These things are so complicated, but I love sharing, and I hope some other people who haven't done this tag yet will hop on board and do it. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. And until next time, much love and gratitude.